Hey, mate. Well, here we are again. Back with the NRRRL Gingy and Foxy rap.
What was that? Round 7 on the weekend?
I've lost count.
I've lost count too.
But anyway.
Round 7.
I was actually going to say at some stage we'll actually catch up.
Oh,
but
when we'll be on the
that
exact
won't
right
be until round 17. So
yeah.
There you go. Welcome, everybody, back to NRRRL Gingy and Foxy rap here live. And we are...
And surprise, we're starting a bit late because...
Goffy stuff up.
Bit of technical difficulties from
actually,
the golf.
I wasn't late this time.
No, you were actually early.
You weren't late this time.
No,
But
I'm never
and
late.
The team have a few technical issues that they're working through as we go. So I don't know if if it does play up for some reason, please forgive.
Ring Benji.
Ring. Yeah, you've all got my number there too. So. I'm changing my phone number next week as well for all those people that I was putting out. Please contact me. Please don't. Especially the stupid text messages I've been getting. That's crazy shit. So don't send me any more of that. But mate, we've got a big program scheduled out tonight. It's the first time, bar one game, that we've
Nearly got through the whole round.
So we want to go through all those results. Obviously, we want to look at what's coming up, and we're going to jump straight in. But let's jump into it, mate. We're going to jump in with, get it? Here we go. Around the grounds. Oh, God.
All right, let's jump into it.
Jump in. So I'm going to hand it over to you, brother. This is your segment.
Round 7. We're going to kick it off with the Northern United Dirrawongs up against the Lower Clarence Magpies.
Yeah.
And the Dirrawongs come away 62-22 winners.
Yep. So, mate, I suppose our first half of football, probably the last couple of weeks, has been absolutely brilliant. We're doing all the things that we're training to. We're working through our sets. And I look, for me, it's probably, there's some added value. We've got some experience in the team this year, which has really started to pay off. In saying that, mate, Lower Clarence, all be the score, but they played out the full 80 minutes, mate, and they were there, competitive, and they were trying.
Well, you still leaked in 22 points.
We still leaked in 22 points, and sadly enough, it was towards the end. Up the last 10 minutes is where we leaked two tries. We had one try in the first half. Actually, it was one try right up until the last 10 minutes, and as I said, that's where we leaked the points in the end. So it was the ground was still pretty heavy, but that's no excuses. We worked really hard last night on those efforts that we need to work on. So overall, pretty happy with the win.
Yeah, I thought Ty Roberts got a well-deserved rest after his opening first couple of games. I think he's been really good so far.
Yeah, mate, he was a bit crook on the weekend. He had the flu, and he played, I think, I reckon he's probably played about 60. No, actually, he probably played about 50-odd minutes. And he was adamant he wanted to play. I tried to keep him out of the game and say, mate, we can rest you this week. But he was really adamant. He wants consistency and he wants his demand and to play every week. So that, for me, that's a good thing. And his leadership was brilliant in that first half.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything special. He just did his job.
Good win there to Northern. Okay, we'll move on to Casino versus Kyogle. And the Casino Cougars come away 26-10 victors over the Kyogle Turkeys, and they keep continuing on this winning run.
Yeah, mate, look, I think, and I said this to you, and I know you actually not. We go back to the first podcast of the year, and I actually said that Casino would be a dark horse.
Can I stop you there, though? You did tip Kyogle last week.
No, I'm not saying about the tips. Just for the airing audience out there, I really don't care about the tipping comp anymore.
Oh.
But I will participate. In saying that, I want to go back to the original statement that I did at the start of the season in our first podcast, to which you rejected and said you didn't think they were going to be as competitive as what they are right now, but they've proven themselves, Leslie.
Yeah, I think, mate, they've had a couple of great victories. And all credit to them.
Yeah, mate, they actually... I watched the mini game of that game on the weekend, and Kyogle, they were competitive, mate, for about, 20-odd, 25, 30-odd minutes. But once Casino got the ascendancy, they got some Fijian inflow in there now, and that's actually paying off for it because they're strong running they're actually not. They're not the type of Fijian players that you'd normally think where their rugby union background would come in. And these guys are rugby league players. So credit to Casino with their recruitment on that as well. So they've recruited very well.
I like the look of their hooker. I reckon he goes pretty good. He's solid in defence.
Yeah, he's really good. They've got a big winger who's very strong.
Yeah. Good victory there to the Casino Cougars. We'll move on, mate, to Tweed Coast Raiders and Byron Bay in a surprising 12-all draw.
Mate, do you want me to tell you something?
Yes, please do.
I watched that game.
Did you?
Yeah, that was boring.
Boring, was it?
Yeah, it was boring.
This was a score I didn't expect.
I'll tell you
I thought Byron Bay would win. And
you know how Byron Bay's been on a bit of a run, right? They look tired.
Yeah.
They look tired.
Okay.
Yeah, particularly in the back end of that game. Mate, I'll tell you how close that game went right down to the,
last couple of minutes.
78th minute.
I think it was a Clarence Kelly sin bin in the last few minutes or so.
And Tweed Coast, got that with that sin binning, but Tweed Coast gained the ascendancy, and then with 2 minutes to go, they've scored the meat pie. Brought it back to 12-all. There was really no time for either side to even gauge a field goal attempt. So, it was in the dying moments. But no disrespect to both those teams, by the way, but your game was pretty boring.
Okay, we'll move on to Bilamble Jets versus Marsh Brothers Rams. The Jets come away 44-12 victors.
Mate, what about this one? Marsh Brothers jumped away to a 12-0 lead in the first 7.5 to 8 minutes. And then from that point onwards, it was the Bilamble show. Yeah. And it was at Bilamble. The ground didn't look that bad. But in saying that, Marsh Brothers, it was their first it was their acid test. And two things out of that game. Bilamble showed the quality team they are.
Marsh Brothers flying under the radar, haven't they?
Marsh Brothers put out their best effort, but that best effort just wasn't good enough. Fair bit of work to be done with Brothers. And I know that they're probably going to say, yeah, we don't care, whatever you say, Benji. But facts are facts. You've got a fair bit of work to do, guys. And as far as, they could prove me wrong when we play them. I don't really care either, but that'll be a very entertaining thing if they did. But for me, Bilamble, as I said, stamped their authority, showed that they're a class team, showed that they're here to play here this year, and they're going to be here at the end of the season when it counts. They've got a big game, and I'll talk about that coming up anyway.
Ballina Seagulls come away with the victory over Mooloolaba, 26-22 in a tough, close one.
Yeah, mate, 26-22. Look, I would suggest that Ballina didn't look like they were going to be anywhere near that game. Mooloolaba jumped out of the blocks and mate, they played some bloody good footy. And on top of that, their defensive efforts were great as well. But it just looked like they got comfortable. And they sort of said, okay, that's it. We've done our job. We've got the win. Let's pack up and go home. One thing they failed to do was, against a team like Ballina, who never gives up and always plays 80 minutes, the last 10 minutes, Ballina said, well, okay, you guys can pack up and go home, but here we are, and we're going to try and get the win. And they did. So, tough game. Congratulations to Ballina. But I'll tell you one thing that stood out towards that last 10 minutes is when the ball did go wide on their edges to Ballina, mate, they had some good speed. Some young kids down there that are very quick. And when they get into clear space, mate, it's see you later.
They had a couple out on the weekend too, I think, Ballina.
Sorry?
I think Ballina had a couple out too on the weekend. So
yeah, well, I'm not quite sure, but they did look a bit Reggie-ish.
And then, Benji, our next game is Mullumbimby versus Evans Head, and guess what?
Say it.
Washout.
Yep. I'll tell you what, and I said this to you before the podcast, I really feel for Evans Head at the moment.
Yeah, same.
They got to play.
What have they played? One or two games?
Two games. We're in round 7, so they got 5 catch-up games to play. Now that's going to be a tough gig. And I've seen today's, and I'll talk about it when we get to Controversy Corner. But I'll just reiterate what's going to happen over the next few weeks for our viewing audience, just to get an indication as to what impact that might have on Evans Head back into the season. But there's 5 games they've got to play catch up, and that is, whether we like it or not, the facts are facts. I hope it doesn't take its toll, but it likely will take its toll at some point.
Yeah, I really feel for Evans at the moment.
Well, they can't. They couldn't. Mate, it's not just that they couldn't play on the. They couldn't play on the ground. They can't even train on the ground.
I find it weird how what happened. Like the ground was just too wet.
It is bad. Yeah, apparently it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I did notice because they did play one rainy game against Marsh Brothers early on in the year, so I thought,
yeah, mate. From all reports of what I'm hearing, it is definitely not. Well, it hasn't been definitely playable when they've had to play, but what they didn't, I suppose, envisage at the time is that when they had the away games, those grounds that they were going to was in the same condition. So yeah. Right. It's just pure bad luck.
All right, so we'll get into reserve grade now quickly. We'll just go through the scores.
Grades. Let's have a quick. Because I know there's a lot of people out there in the viewing land that
love the lower
grades. About the lower grades.
Yeah,
so
love the lower grades.
Are you going through the results in those grades?
Yep.
Just so we know, I didn't do my homework. I'm just going to go with the scores.
That's all right. We're just going to give the scores for the lower grades, and we'll start off with Reggie's, where Northern were 26-18 victors over Lower.
Tough game.
Casino 66 defeated Kyogle 4.
Huge. They had a good beef week.
Bellamble 38, Marsh Brothers 0.
Jeez, that's a big score too.
Ballina 38, Mooloolaba 26.
Jeez, wasn't much defence happening in that game.
Byron Bay 26, Tweed Coast 8.
Yeah, Byron Bay, a good mate there. I think they're leading the competition undefeated.
Under 18s, Lower Clarence defeated Northern 14-12.
Yeah, that was I think there's a thing that happened in that game, and I'm just going to talk about it, and it happens for a lot of young blokes. Any of those young blokes that are playing rugby league in the under 18s that do still go to school, like, learn your maths. Like, 14 points to 12 points means when you score the second try, you don't win. So maths is a big thing in under 18s.
You know all about maths with your pips points.
You're funny, mate.
Casino 30 defeated Kyogle 10. Bellamble 50 defeated Marsh Brothers 6.
What about Bellamble? That was a 3-game wipeout.
That was a big
3-game wipeout and big scores in every game.
Murbar 46 defeated Ballina 10. Tweed Coast Raiders defeated Byron Bay in under 18s 26-0.
That's massive.
That is huge.
Mate, I just want to go back, and I think this needs to be said about the under 18s competition just quickly.
Yep.
The interesting thing with the under 18s competition, right? From 7s to 16s, you've got Group 1.
Yep.
And you've got teams like Ballina, Brothers, Casino, Kyogle, the Grafton side are still in it. And then Group 18, you've got the Bellambles, the Cudgeons, the Tweed Seagulls,
Byron
Bay, Lennox. So what's showing out in the under 18s competition for me, personally, is that there is a vast difference in what happens when these kids progress from their 16s to 18s. And it seems like, and it just seems like that the under 18 kids have the ascendancy on the Group 1 kids, because it showed out last year in the final series. I think it was dominated by Group 18 teams. And again, the Group 18 teams in the under 18s competition again. So, look, Group 1, I think it's time that you really start to look at development in these age groups, particularly from 13 to 16, because we're quite clearly now being shown that the other end of the competition up in Group 18 is definitely a lot stronger than what ours is.
Ladies League tag quickly. Ballina 12, Murbar 10. Tweed Coast 22, Byron Bay 0. Cudgeon 16 defeated Tweed Seagulls 4.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Ladies League tag because
I don't believe there was any games last week for women's tackle.
No, there wasn't, mate.
NRRRLW.
What?
NRRRLW.
It's not W. NRRRL?
No. I don't know.
W. No, okay, there you go. Yeah, right. Well, it's the NRRRL's WT.
W. No games last week.
Yeah, there you go. No games.
Okay, the Tippin comp currently stands out. Les 12, Gingy 6.
So you only beat me by 6.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Catch up time.
But you don't care about
that's your favourite part. That is
because you're losing.
That is your favourite part of the whole podcast. Is just trying to show me.
Because I know how crap you are. And
do you want to know something?
I'll
give you a bit of an insight into me and tipping comps.
What?
So
good chat. Okay, we'll move on.
I'm in 2 tipping comps. I've pulled out of both of them.
Round 8. Let's get into round 8, eh?
Yep, let's go. Over to you again.
Evans Head versus... So, okay, Benji, just to get this straight, whoever I read out first is the home team, okay? So don't ask me where it's at, okay?
Where is it?
Evans Head versus Tweed Coast.
At Evans. So I'm look, as much as I hate to say this, I'm actually going to tip against Evans and I'm going to go Tweed Coast.
So am I. Just
consistency.
Lack of football.
3 games in 3 weeks.
Yeah, poor fellas. Lack of football, I'm going Tweed Coast too. Northern United versus Bilambil. Goff, what do you got for us? United. Murbar versus Mullumbimby.
Moolumbar.
I'm going Moolumbar. Coogin versus Cass.
I'm saying Coogin. Is it at Coogin? Obviously it is. Sorry, God.
I thought you were serious.
Anyway,
I was just going to go.
Yeah, there we go. I'm saying Coogin at home.
I'm going Coogin too. Kyogle versus Marsh Brothers.
I'm saying Brothers in a tight one.
I'm going Kyogle. I'm going Turkeys at home.
I really hope it is the Turkeys, and not because it's Brothers. I'm just saying it's not nothing to do with that. I just want to see the Turkeys. They've got a good team.
They have got good teams.
And
They've picked
when
up
they
some
do
good
perform
buys.
at different stages in the game, they actually look really, really good. So and plus we've got a couple of players over there that we've had a bit to do with over the years. So I'd like to see the Turkeys get up.
And Lower Clarence versus Ballina.
Yeah, I'm saying Ballina by 20.
I'm saying Ballina by 40.
Motivation, there you go. All those guys down there in McLean, on the record, Les has got you down by 40. Please prove him wrong. I'm hoping that the performance this week is better than the last week's performance and that you can gain some momentum and start to look at getting your season back on track. But it's going to be a tough gig against the Ballina team if they're hot.
And that's it. That's my Around the Grounds wrap-up and round 8. Over to you,
Okay,
Gingy.
So, look, this is usually the part where we look at Controversy Corner, but this week there is sort of no real controversy. But what we need to talk about and what we want to talk about now isn't your favourite part of the podcast. We're going to talk about all games. So let's just go to. We're going to talk about the washouts for the last time in the history of the NRRRL podcast.
Hang on. What if it rains for 5 days straight? Are you trying to say we're not going to get washouts?
Can we just move on, Les? The only controversy at the moment is between you and me. So what we want to talk about now is, as of today, all washed out games have been rescheduled. Every club has been notified. There are games that are going to be played
midweek.
No, hang on.
Oh.
Just don't jump ahead of me, please.
Okay.
This is my segment. You've just done yours, okay? Just settle down, take a back seat, and let me have my little bit now. So, what we're talking about here now is the washout games, and as I said, they've been rescheduled. Every club has been notified. There are 2 games that'll be played over the June long weekend. One of those games is the Coogin v Northern United at Crozier Oval on Saturday. Both those games that have been rescheduled for that round have also both be played on a Saturday, both being played at normal times, 12 o'clock start, flowing through to the 2:45 starts for the first grade teams. I know it's a long weekend.
No.
Sorry?
That's not the Splendor one.
No, that's the June long weekend. Then we've got, obviously, the Splendor weekend, which is a whole round, which is actually round 1 to be played over the Splendor long weekend. The round 4 washout game is now scheduled to be played after round 16, which we now call round 17. That's a whole round. And then we've got the Evans Head debacle. One of those games that I've seen today will be played on a Tuesday night. Goffey, do you know when that game has been scheduled for on a Tuesday night, so we can let our viewing audience know? Because if you're not doing nothing, for those clubs that aren't training and people that want to watch a game of footy on a Tuesday night, from what I'm hearing, it's definitely on a Tuesday night, and it will be, just bear with me a second, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll tell you exactly when that is. So it will be scheduled. Here we go. So, here we go. So the Evans Head game v Ballina down at Evans will be played on a Tuesday night, round 6 catch-up. It's a Tuesday night, Tuesday the 11th of June. And then the Evans Head game v Mullumbimby will then be played on a Friday night on the 7th of June, which is the Friday night of the June long weekend. So Friday night of the June long weekend will be Mullum v Evans down at Mullumbimby, and then on the Tuesday the 11th of June down at Evans Head it'll be Evans Head v Ballina. The other games that have been scheduled, as I mentioned, is Lower Clarendon and Ballamble will be played down at at Ballamble on Saturday the 8th of June, and the Northern United v Coogin at Crozier Oval to also be played on Saturday the 8th of June.
Yeah.
So they're the game, and the only other games outside of that is a reserve grade and under 18s fixture between Ballamble and Tweed Seagulls, and that's to be set. So it hasn't been set yet, but that's a reserve grade and under 18s game only. So there you go. That's all the rescheduled games. Other than that, I think it's all games are going ahead as normal. There's one more. Ballina v Kyogle at Ballina. That's to be played on Thursday the 6th of June.
Oh, a Thursday.
So there you go, Thursday night game. So and that's the 6th. The Thursday before the long weekend and the Friday before. So before the long weekend, there's a Thursday game, a Friday game, and 2 Saturday games.
Just like NRRRL, isn't it?
It's brilliant. So for all those people that want to get their footy junket before you actually go away on the long weekend of June, there you go. You've got a Thursday night game in Ballina. You've got a Friday night game down at Mullumbimby, and then
Saturday.
And then down at Mullumbimby, and then you've got 2 Saturday games to be played on the long weekend, and then you can go away and enjoy the rest of your Sunday and Monday.
I'll be gone. See you later.
So there you go. So that's the rescheduled games, and I'm thinking and I'm hoping now that those games do get played on the scheduled dates. The other thing that I would hope is that the weather gods look down on us and actually do the right thing. Stop shaking your bloody head, Les. And everyone will get their footy fix. So there you go.
Good work, mate. You got through that all right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Thanks for allowing me to do it, mate.
Good work.
Okay. So
great stuff.
What have we got? Now? I just want to go now. We've got next week. We want to have some special guests coming in next week. So we're going to have Touchwood, all things going to plan. We're going to get Tanya Booth from New South Wales Rugby League to come in and talk about all things footy through New South Wales Rugby League lens and the landscape and how New South Wales Rugby League engage not just the NRRRL but all competitions around New South Wales country, and how it plays out in her role here in the NRRRL as well. I think she works also with Wade Kelly. So we'll definitely try and we'll leave that up to you, Goffy, to follow that up with Tanya Booth. I'm hoping to secure an NRL, our first NRL star for the year, which will be one of our... Sorry? No, NRL stars, mate, not has-beens. So...
Who have you got lined up, mate?
Well, Touchwood, we've been talking about it now for the last 3 weeks.
And you haven't organised it yet, have you?
Yes, I have.
Oh, good on you.
Yeah, I've made a contact, so we're just waiting to confirm.
Okay, cool.
You know, the bloke's got to train. He's coming. He doesn't have to. He's not driving down to be here live. He's actually going to zoom in.
Zoom in.
So Touchwood, we actually.
Can you say anyone, or you got to wait?
Do you want me to say who it is?
Yeah.
Brian Kelly. I said that about 3 weeks now. So hopefully Touchwood. He's playing. His football's. He's going great at the moment.
Killing it at the moment, and can goal kick.
Yeah. And we heard a big rumour. And listen.
Chris taught him.
We heard a rumour on the weekend too, didn't we?
What?
You upset people on Saturday night when we were talking about the knockout. we have a conversation down at Mary G's after a post-match function, and you had a conversation about a team that's entering the knockout from up this area, and you upset one of the people that you were talking to, and I was sitting back with him myself grinning, and he confirmed something, that someone was going to be taking over the reins of a local team that's going to go to the big knockout this year, and he won't be playing with the team he played with last year, the player we're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, no comment.
No comment.
No comment. There you go. That's the first. I know how to shut him up now. I'll just talk about the knockout and rumours that could come out over a few beers.
You think you know all the rumours?
Well, I was amongst the rumour. It was happening in front of me. I couldn't help it. You can't even remember the conversation.
I can't.
How many beers
That's
did you
why I
have?
said it. I didn't have
Mate,
hardly any. I just can't remember this conversation.
Mate, you and Big Gordy.
Oh, Gordy.
I think you made yourself very loud and very clear that night.
Oh.
I was sitting back having a bit of fun because I was thinking, come on, I was waiting to settle down, boys. It's okay. It's all good. But anyway, we'll confirm those knockout rumours as we get closer to the
knockout.
Yeah, so have any other guests that you're aware of, Goffy? We've got to get Mark Harrison to come in. I think it'd be nice if we can get either Mark or Tanya next week. I'll follow up on Mark, but...
All you clublands out there, send someone in from your club.
Goffy, you've got one job this week,
in.
And that's to contact each club. And when you do that, you will also be making sure you get the right people in for us to be able to, have them on here and talk about their clubland.
We'd love to hear what's going on in everyone's club.
Why don't you make a phone call after tonight down to Ballina?
How about I get Barnesy straight off the bat?
Barnesy owes us from last year.
Barnesy owes us from last year. All right, Barnesy, if you're watching, next week you're on.
All good. Okay, so outside of that, mate, going to you, have you got anyone lined up in the coming weeks for the podcast? You can't just make that up. Well, last year we had Cody Walker come on, but I don't think it's good to get people not that it's good not to get Cody on.
Someone different, you mean?
We'll say someone different.
What about Orbo?
Who?
Orbo.
Yeah, you get
ex-NRRRL player.
Yep. Do you want to go? Do you want to follow that up?
Oh, I was more talking you following that up.
Yeah, I was right. That's why I'm looking at you. But anyway. So anyway, if there's anyone else out there, look, guys, and I keep saying this, but Goffy's got no emails. We get no responses from anyone. Our viewing audience is growing every week, but just ring in and tell. Oh, I'm not giving. Do I have to give my number out again?
Tweed Coast. Let's go with yous. Come on.
Okay.
Someone from Tweed Coast next week.
Yep. Get in touch with us. Yep. Get in touch with the podcasters. Get in touch with Mark Goff through his email. Is
Mark at markgoffmedia.com.
So that's Mark at markgoffmedia.com. Okay, so that's how we're going to work that's how we're going to work over the next few weeks to try and get people to come on, and so people get sick of listening to me and you all the time. But anyway, well, they mustn't because they watch us like anything. Let's move on, mate. Let's talk about.
I just want to go here quickly.
Where do you want to go? So we're going to give you a bit of a wrap on the knockout.
Knockout, Lismore. Have you got seen your knockout coordinator, of course?
Yeah.
Do a great job too, I might say.
Thank you.
Have you sent out like expressions of interest or what's it called? What's the stuff you sent out? Registrations or anything like that?
Oh, do you mean the nomination?
Nomination, that's it.
Okay, so
nomination.
look, nomination forms have been sent out.
Yep.
To be totally honest, we're being smashed at the moment. I've got to be careful here because we are cutting off at 30 teams in the men. I would be really honest here, we're over the halfway mark for men's competition.
So 30 men's teams.
30
max?
men's teams. Part of that deal too, obviously, is not just the nomination fee. We've got that arrangement with Strutty. So first in, best dressed. You can design your own gear. So as part of your nomination fee, your nomination fee plus your gear.
Do not order your own gear.
No, you can't order your own gear. We've got an arrangement through Strutty Sports where when the nomination is paid, that encompasses your nomination fee and also your apparel.
Is that just playing apparel?
Playing apparel. So but Strutties are doing deals outside of that for shirts as well, at a really, really, really good price and very competitive. So what happens is when teams nominate, we then register them on our system. They go through to Strutty Sports. They'll get a link. The link will go to the team manager. They'll then go through the process with Strutties to design their own jumpers and get their gear ready. At the moment, with our women's competition, we're up to about 7 or 8. That closes at 12. It's going to be over 2 days, 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 20th, 21st and 22nd of September. For anyone that wants any packages or nomination kits, please contact me via my email. So my email is pretty simple, cbinge43@gmail.com, or you can contact the Northern United Email Club direct, and we can send out the packages. Alternatively, you can give me a call on my mobile number, 0434 415 652. That's for any of the nomination packages to be sent out.
Anything at all you want to talk about.
Any nomination packages for both the women's and men's competition of the 2024 Lismore Aboriginal Rugby League Knockout to be held here at Oaks and Crozier Oval.
Good job.
Okay, we want to jump. So, any more in the knockouts, mate?
No, that's fine.
Apparently, there is one thing. Apparently, I've only just found out. I could be well wrong on this. That the Murray Carnival is actually on the same weekend as the Lismore Knockout, from what I'm hearing.
It?
21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Sorry, 20th, 21st, and 22nd of September, which is the Murray Carnival. And Les is actually trying to confirm that as we speak. That won't have much of an impact, to be totally honest, on the Lismore Knockout, mainly due to the fact that last year's Lismore Knockout actually had more teams than the Queensland Murray Carnival. So it just means for those local players, they don't have to travel away to play a game of footy. They can actually do that here in their home backyard. Okay, Leslie, is that confirmed?
You keep talking and I'll just have a look.
Well, other than that, obviously, we've got the Koori Knockout, which is an October long weekend. That's always the October long weekend. Rain, hail or shine and no washouts. As Les would know, the knockout never gets washed out. You play in mud, sludge, you play in whatever, rain, hail or shine. So that'll be in Bathurst this year, and hosted by WAC, so Walgett Aboriginal Connection, and obviously sponsored through No Limits as well.
It says here, mate, that a blockbuster event will kick off with the men's and women's from Friday the 20th of September to Sunday the 22nd of September.
So it's the same weekend. There you go. You don't have to choose. Lismore Knockout is the biggest knockout outside of the New South Wales Aboriginal Rugby League Knockout, or the Koori Knockout. So if you want to be somewhere and you want to be, at a really good knockout and an event that's run really well, get to Lismore. That's the place to be. It does, mate. It does bring a lot of, a flow of inflow of finances, and also the hoteliers, our shops, our pubs, our clubs, and even the shopping outlets. I think that weekend for Lismore is a really big weekend for all those local businesses. And after what we've been through the last couple of years, it's always welcomed. Last year was great. This year's going to be better because we've got Lismore, the township itself, is going to be opened up fully. From what I'm hearing, we're not far away from the Lismore Workers Club being reopened as well down there. So I think it could be just after the Lismore Knockout. But regardless, the Lismore Knockouts event. And here's the biggest announcement. The Gingy and the Fox will be hosting at Mary G's the after party.
You didn't even ask me this.
Yeah, we are.
You just put my name down.
Kath has already locked it in. Kath Signs down at Mary G's, wonderful supporter of the podcast and Northern United. But the after party this year will be Saturday down at Mary G's. Last year's event was massive. Yeah, we're going to be. You know what? We actually are going to be up in the DJ's box as, obviously co-hosting the after party. And there you go, mate. You've heard it here first on the Gingy and Foxy podcast. We will be hosting the after party at Mary G's.
And it
will be the biggest night in Lismore. Bigger than the Lismore races. That's how big it is. We know it is because that was last year. So that's it.
Beautiful.
Pushing over. Turn that phone off, Goffy, please. I can hear it in the background.
Benji, how good was Magic Round on the weekend?
Oh, God. It was magic.
How good was it?
Yeah,
Every single game. There was some
good football played, mate. The biggest thing to come out of Magic Round? And I love this.
What?
What do you think it was for me? What do you think was my coming out moment of
West Tigers versus Finns?
No. I knew the Finns were going to win, so it's all good.
What? Tell me.
Brett Arthur getting sacked for Parramatta. How good was that? Look, no disrespect. I don't know Brad personally. But after 11 years and you haven't won a premiership, you probably know you're knocking on death's door.
What was your favourite game of the round?
Mate, to be totally honest, I really liked... from a playing perspective, it actually was the Dolphins game. Outside of that, I think I really loved the Wars. I think the Wars upset on the weekend was probably the game. Everyone wrote them off. Five losses on the trot, and they come out and beat who? No, none other than
Penny
last year's
Panthers.
premiers. I know people are going to look at it and go, you know, Cleary was out, this bloke was out, and whatever. But you know what? The Wars actually, I think that's the spark they needed to try. And they had 3 or 4 players out of that game as well. I think they brought in 4 players from their New South Wales Cup team.
Yep.
So mate, that was a massive win for them.
Mine was actually tied. I really liked 2 games over the weekend. And I'm going to kick it off with the mighty Newcastle Knights beating the Titans in a very tough game. Controversy at the end. Was it a knock-on? Was it a try?
Well, I'm going to say that... Did you see the latest footage?
No.
Yeah, he did make the line.
Didn't make the line?
Nah, apparently. Yeah.
All right.
Mate, did you have your glasses on?
Anyways, the Knights got the victory.
There you go, so you were lucky to get away. Mate, I'll tell you that...
But I'll tell you which one was the best game.
Can I say something to you about the Knights?
Okay, go, quick.
So first and foremost, when's Ponga back?
6 weeks. Don't know. We don't need him
In
at
6
the
weeks? I'm just going
How
to say
good
something.
Is Davey Armstrong?
When he does come back...
Where do you put Davey Armstrong?
Can you put him into 6?
Put him... Nah.
You're going to have to. Because I'll tell you now, you drop Davey Armstrong, you're crazy.
He's good, eh?
Oh, mate. It's his breakout season. And he hasn't just broken out. He's run away from everyone. He's brilliant. If I was coaching the Knights, I'd be sitting down. I know he's got time to come back in 4 or 5 weeks. I'd be sitting down with Ponga and I'd be having a very good conversation that's heart to heart about this is what our plan is moving forward. Because I would not be moving Davey Armstrong out of fullback.
No, he's good.
I think that was good. But overall, the whole Magic round was absolutely
the best
magic.
game was the curtain raiser on the Thursday night. The mighty Blues beating the Queenslanders. Great game. That was a great game.
Can I say this to you? I hope you really enjoyed it because it's the last one you're probably going to have in a State of Origin series. Mate, it takes women to show you guys how to play football in this.
How good is
state.
Chapman?
Oh, she's great, mate.
She's good.
She's absolutely... Mate, I'll tell you, I didn't really take too much notice of her until when she played for Indigenous All-Stars. And I thought, holy Jesus, she's big, she's strong, she's fast. That try she scored...
It was unbelievable.
There's blokes that couldn't score a try like that.
No.
So, for me, she was brilliant, man, mate. She was
Go the Blues.
But like I said, for all those Blues supporters, get behind your women because your men are hopeless.
That's it. That's all I got for Magic Round, mate.
Okay. So, guess what I'm bringing back?
Oh, no. What?
We are bringing it back. It is back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the whatevs. The whatevs. The whatevs is back. The whatevs is back, and I've got one tonight.
Next week you're going to bring back Goffy's Goss as well.
I've got one tonight. No.
That's been sacked with some false information.
Mate, I've got one tonight. I've got the whatevs. This is my whatevs moment for the week.
Oh, no.
And it has nothing to do with NRL. Has nothing to do, but it's with the NRRRL. Mate, it was the funniest. Like, we played lower on the weekend.
Yep.
And we do know that the referee. What about all these young referees and these referees that have usually been refereeing in reserve grade, stepping up to referee first grade games? I think it's great. I think these guys need that experience, and I think it's going to make the competition better in the future. I know there's some clubs and coaches and players that aren't happy, but at the end of the day, the biggest thing about this is these blokes are getting a crack. Yes, they're human. Yes, they make mistakes, and yes, they don't, sometimes see the game the way that we see it as coaches or players see it.
Well, if we don't give them a crack, they're not going to learn, are they?
And that's it. But, mate, Big Richard on the weekend refereed our game.
Yep.
And the whatevs moment is there's a couple of times where, and I've got to say it, Big Duggo, he was a pest all game. he was in poor Richard's ear. Like, I reckon when Richard was going home, he was probably rubbing his ears going, shut up. Because the Big Duggo did not let up from minute 1 to minute 80. He questioned every decision, but here's my whatevs moment. There was a couple of times where Big Rich wasn't sure, and I was sitting there just going, just make a call either way. And it wasn't good or bad. It was just make a call. And he'd go like this. Yep. And they weren't hooked up to the normally in bar TV the referees are hooked up to the
commentary type thing.
But they weren't hooked up for some reason. But you could see him. He goes like this and he goes like this. And young Jack, who said, I told him he's got to come on the podcast again. Young Jack was on the sideline, first grade referee, helping out these other guys getting through the game. So he pulled the game up a couple of times and he's doing this. Yeah. And he's talking to Jack. He's probably asking Jack about, what did he see and all that sort of stuff. And Jack's giving him good feedback. And then while he's doing it, and then Big Duggo's in his ear at the same time. So he's doing this and he's doing this. So he's got the ear. He's like that. He's a traffic cop. He's like, mate, just stop, step back. And it was actually getting hilarious towards the end of it because I was just thinking, Richard's doing the best he can, and he was doing a great job. Don't get me wrong, but checking everything, doing the ears and doing the traffic cop. Richard, keep doing what you're doing, brother. You had a good game, I think. And Duggo, the whatevs moment is, mate. No matter what you say, how you say it, when you say it, you'll never beat a referee.
Is that your whatevs?
That's my whatevs moment. It was so good. It was okay.
Shout-outs, Benji.
Outside of that, we've just got the shout-outs to go, brother. I've got my first one. Can I do the first one?
Yeah, you can do
First shout-out tonight is to Charlie Binge, my grandson, Caleb's young bloke. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, my grandson. Happy birthday, big fella. Hope you've had a great day and hope Mum and Dad support you rotten. I know last night you got towelled up and you've been on a bit of a timeout from the old game. You're on a sanctioned timeout, I think. I'm not quite sure when you're allowed back, but hopefully today was a great day for you. Happy birthday from your grandfather, and hope your mum and dad support you, mate.
Beautiful. Shout out to a couple of my ex-players I played up with growing up. Matty Temby.
Played up with too, by the way. And he hit the nail right.
And Brett Warshnoff in the blue headgear.
So there you go. So I can tell you right now, when Les talks about playing up, the two names you just mentioned, if I could tell you the stories.
Matty Kelso's on here again. He loves the shout-outs,
What's
Matty
he
Kelso.
doing? Like Mr. Kelson?
He wants to give a shout-out to Mickey Miller.
Matty, if you really want to shout-out to
we'll have to Skype Matty Kelso.
Well, we should just go up to Tweed Heads one day and just do a podcast at the school.
With the Kelso.
With the kids and Kelso. There you go.
Isaiah Brown wants to give a shout-out to Tyara for her birthday.
Is it today as well?
And
hey, happy birthday, my niece.
And
same day as Charlie's. Sorry, mate, cutting you off.
No, you're right. And a big shout-out to his brother Jaleel for his big 18th birthday
tomorrow. Yes,
tomorrow.
Yeah, look, Jaleel, I know it's your birthday. I know you're 18. You're a legal. But remember, we've got to play on Sunday, so take it easy, young fella. Jaleel's been backing up in first grade every week since we've started, and he's a very big asset for me. So please look after yourself between now and the weekend. I do know that you've got a scheduled birthday party for the June long weekend. So touch wood, you save your celebrations until that party, Uncle.
Shout out from all the Tweed Coast boys for Rocket. He's playing his 100th game this weekend for the Tweed Coast Raiders.
Rocket is?
Yep.
Well, there you go. 100. Can we, just on that, happy birthday. Well, not happy birthday.
100th game.
100th game, Rocket, for you as well, mate. Congratulations. It's a big effort for any player in any club to get to 100 games.
And he's played a few years with Tweed Seagulls as well.
Yeah, so, at the club that you're at, mate, it's a big effort. But can we get some, Mark at markgoffmedia.com. Send us in any players in your club that have played anywhere between 100 or coming up to 100 games so we can get a big shout out, because that's a massive achievement, because we've got an announcement to make at the end of this as well.
Yes. Shout out to Lorenzo.
There you go.
He's made it to the next level for rugby union.
How about this? All my nephews. Hey, Renz, there you go. Hey, playing footy, loving life, Any other shout-outs there, brother?
Mick Muir's just going to return the favour and give Kelso a shout-out.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Listen, I do want to do a special shout-out, and we do need to mention this. It is a special moment. I think we're 3 games away.
From?
3 games away from a club player, ex-club president, and a very big club patron with Northern United.
He keeps reminding us too.
And we are going to celebrate this milestone to the hilt. We're going to go all out. Banners, streamers. It's going to be called the John Jarrett Day.
Jarrett Day.
Yeah, the John Jarrett. The whole day is going to be dedicated to him.
Did you just make that up?
No. Oh. I've been thinking about it since you told me. We're going to celebrate it.
He told us.
It won't be a Saturday game. It'll actually be a Sunday game, so sorry, but we'll still have a beer with you after it. But John Jarrett, ladies and gentlemen, for the Northern United Rugby League Football Club, will be playing his 100th game in 3 weeks. For the Dirrawongs. And he would be the first player in the history of this club since its inception to play 100 games for this club. So I think that in itself is worth celebrating. It's a massive achievement, a massive milestone, and it's going to be, I think, a long, long time before another player in this club plays that many games for Northern.
Jamal Roberts would have to be close.
You reckon?
I reckon he'd have to be close.
We might have to go back and check the stats. John,
can you check
that stats for us, please? So Jamal Roberts, and if that's the case, we'll obviously be celebrating that as well. But we do know definitely, and I'll tell you how we know. He actually counted every game on the system to verify that he was at 95. And that was 2 weeks ago. And since then, he's played 2 games, so it's obviously 3 weeks before he plays his 100th.
What's the day called again?
It's the John Jarrett Day.
Oh. Is it going to be a home game too, is it?
I think it will be, mate. So we play at home this week, we're away the following week, and then we're back home, so it will be a home game. So we're going all out. We're going to be, we're all going to be wearing a whole range of different John Jarrett memorabilia.
Get shirts made up.
We're going to get shirts made up. We love you, Dan. And mate, I have no doubt his family will be there in its fullest to be able to celebrate that milestone. Thumbs up, brother. Well done. Oh, jeez.
So good luck this weekend, Rocket, on your 100th game.
Yeah, mate, good luck this weekend, and I hope they do the same up there at Tweed Coast. So,
okay,
mate, I'm out of breath.
Yeah, I think that's us.
That's us.
That's a great, round wrap-up.
Right?
That's a great round wrap-up.
It actually is. It's good. We got nearly that full round, so it's all good. So, as I said, over the next week, we're going to be able to get people coming in. We're also going to try and up the ante on what we're doing here. Any suggestions, please contact us on mark@markoffmedia.com.
All you clubs out there, please contact us.
Please contact us.
We'd really like to hear from your job. We'd really like to hear from your clubs.
Yeah, I'll be doing my job in contacting the other people that I need to contact. You'll be doing yours.
Yep.
And if everyone does their job, that just means we do things really good here at this podcast. So how about that? So that, my friend,
is a wrap.